live. Welcome. It's a cold, rainy night here in Sydney, and welcome to another episode of Life After Hours, the time when we shine a light into the deep, murky recesses of money, mysticism, and magic. And today we are going back to the beginning and focusing on the basics of how we look at personal finance at Life Sherpa and the framework we use to help people get better at it. So thank you very much for joining us. By now I'm sure you get the format. I'll spend some time going through a little bit of information, but of course tonight's really all about you. It's the time for you to get your questions answered and to share the love around. So tonight we are talking about the 8 steps to financial freedom and the opportunities there to ask questions. So getting started, when we look at helping people work out where they are with their money, work out what they can do better, help them prioritize that and focus our services, we look at 8 basic steps to what we call financial freedom. Of course, financial freedom is different for everybody, and usually it's a combination of freedom from something and freedom to something. And each of those twos or froms are a very personal thing. There's a very good reason why it's called personal finance, and it's because it is personal. And the point about this being a multi-step process is to emphasize the fact that financial planning is not an event. There is no one and done solution. It really is a process where every day we get better. The world changes, you change, products change, markets change, taxes change, regulations change. So it is a constant effort to review and track your course and make little adjustments every day so you focus on your true north, whatever that might be for you. So it's important to remember that it is a process. You are never actually finished this exercise. And so that's why we've created the 8 steps. And the 8 steps are really designed to be easy to follow. They're designed that anyone, wherever they are, can start. And they create a foundation from which we can grow. So some of this stuff is housekeeping, some of this is building a foundation that enables us to thrive and grow over time. It helps us to understand what really matters to you and gives you confidence with your money so that you can feel free to enjoy your life, whatever that might be. So we start with 3 foundation steps. These might sound pretty basic, but they are fundamental to getting the most from your money. So we start off with, I guess, the fundamental being to spend less than you earn, or put another way, to earn more than you spend. It can be difficult to out-earn bad spending, so getting your spending aligned with what you value is the key here. We try to discourage people from achieving this goal by cutting out their morning coffee or cancelling their Netflix subscription. These small changes are often hard to sustain, and it takes a lot of them to make a big difference. But if you can focus on the big things, where you live, what you drive, utilities, insurance, and even potentially groceries. But once you get beyond that, it takes a lot of minor changes to make a big difference. So spending less than you earn is at the very core of what we do. We have a number of tools to help. We obviously have our budgeting course, which takes you through the process of dividing your spending into the 3 categories. We have chore, live and grow. Chore is the stuff that gives you no joy. It's usually things about paying bills. Live is the stuff that makes life feel like it's worth living. And grow is the stuff which is about achieving goals. And you need the right balance between those. And that right balance is usually achieved by minimizing the chore piece. The next step, so we have our budgeting program. We have a program called Money and Me, which helps you understand your personality, your values, and your goals. We have a Money Vows program, which helps you talk money with your partner. And of course, your Sherpa is there to help you guide your budget. We also got a budget tracking tool provided by Moneysoft, and that's free. You can sign up in Basecamp. Moving on then to build an emergency stash. This is key to protecting all of your other goals and values, and usually probably start with 3 months spending, depending on your needs. If you and your partner work for the same company, or you've got a lot of debt, or you've got you're self-employed, you might need a bit more, and your Sherpa can certainly help you work out how much. The third step then is to pay off your debts, and we don't necessarily mean all debts here. The debt's not intrinsically evil. We like to look at debts in 3 categories. We call them red debts, or red for danger, and that's the stuff that generally comes from spending more than you earn. So it's usually credit card debt, it's usually line of credits, it's usually personal loans, and it just comes from habitually spending more than you earn. It's usually high interest rate, and that's the stuff you need to focus on getting rid of before you look at investing or other things. Then we have what we call amber debt. Amber is for warning or care, and that's usually around funding assets over the life we'd have them. So things like your car or your home, very difficult to pay cash. Very few people can pay cash for a home. So we spread the cost of that over the time we're going to use them. And they're amber debts, generally not much to worry about. Sometimes time will take care of them. And then we have what we call green debt. So green is for go if the way is clear. And this is usually stuff that's around improving your income or your earning capacity. So things like your HECS, things like investment property loans, things like borrowing to invest in shares. So really just focus on the red stuff first of all. So they're the 3 foundation steps, and these really are ones that you need to sort out before you move on to some of the other steps. The second 3 steps are protective steps, and these are the things that put a protective cocoon around your finances and help you reliably get to your goals. The first of these is step 4, prepare for the unexpected, which is largely around insurance. So your emergency stash can deal with some of the minor stuff. The bigger ones, like illness, death of a loved one. Some of these might seem rare occurrences, but in practice they happen more often than you might think. So for example, 1 in 10 30-year-old males will not make it to age 65. So it happens more often than you might think. And insurance is really the only way to protect your finances and to enable the people left behind to cope. And again, your Sherpa can help you work out what the right insurance is for you, help you find it, and guide you through the process of getting it, and more importantly, help you when it comes to claim time. Most people, when it comes to claiming on these things, are not in a particularly good headspace to be able to deal with paperwork and bureaucracy. So your Sherpa can really take that load off at the time. And you would be surprised the number of people who do claim on this insurance every year. It's way more than you'd think. The 5th step is sorting your super. For most people that we deal with, it's a long way to age 60 when you can access your super. So this is really about getting the basics right. So rounding it all up, so finding any lost super, rounding it all up, making sure it's invested in the right fund and in the right investment option, and making sure that that takes into account changes in regulations and market and your circumstances as you go. The 6th step is get your paperwork straight. And this is really about making sure that if you're not around to make the decisions or sign the paperwork or deal with the money, your partner or family or whoever's left behind to look after it knows where everything is. So what's the password to your internet banking? Where's all the paperwork stored? Have you got your credit card bills? And then the more serious stuff around wills, power of attorney, guardianship for your kids, health directives. It's not a very desirable task, but really this is something that you really need to get sorted and review from time to time. And then finally we move on to the exciting stuff, what we call the growth steps, and there's two of these. The first of which is buy and pay off your home, which is really about getting the right home for your needs and making sure that the funding for that is from the right structure, the right lender, the right price, and that you can pay it off in a time frame that suits you. And then finally, investing your surplus, and that could be making extra payments off your home loan. It could be investing in shares or ETFs. It could be investing in an investment property, or it could, of course, be making additional super contributions, or even helping your kids into their first home. Lots of nuances and opportunities there, and of course, your Sherpa is there to help you. You may not know that we've recently launched our portfolios on a do-it-yourself platform. So if you can go to invest.lifesherpa.au, you can choose your own portfolio and invest, whether that's a one-off or monthly. And of course, you can still get investment advice from your Sherpa if you need something a bit more sophisticated, but that's a great DIY solution. So they are the 8 steps. They're not necessarily linear. You don't necessarily have to do one after the other, but it's pretty hard to buy a home or invest if you haven't got your budget under control, you haven't got an emergency stash, you haven't paid off your debts. The protective ones generally don't affect your day-to-day budget, so they can be done at any time. Earlier is better. And then, of course, the growth stages rely on you really haven't got your debts under control. So they're really the 8 steps. They are at the core of everything we do. The Financial Freedom Factor quiz in Basecamp will give you a score on each of these and help you understand how you can improve that score and get closer to financial freedom.